A hiker follows a trail into the woods, and no matter which way they turn, they always end up at the same tree. 40 minutes into what should have been a simple downhill hike, I found myself standing in front of the same dead oak I'd already passed once. My GPS placed me right on top of it, yet I hadn't turned around, hadn't doubled back. The trail had only curved. The tree stared back through its hollowed knot, like an eye that had been waiting. I stacked a small cairn of stones beside the trunk and took a different fork, one that veered sharply east. I walked faster now, counting my steps, watching the slope of the ground, the angle of the sun. An hour passed, maybe more. Time felt thin, like I was walking through it instead of along it. The tree was there again. My can sat exactly where I'd left it, but the marks had changed. The grooves were fresh, their edges pale and unweathered, and new symbols threaded between the old ones like additions to a conversation I was only beginning to hear. My compass needle spun lazily, then faster, as if it had forgotten which way was north. My GPS flickered and dissolved into static, then returned a map of a forest that didn't match the one I was standing in. The trees on the screen were different. The paths were wrong. A bird called somewhere behind me. Then again, much closer. It repeated the exact same 3 notes in the exact same rhythm, then stopped. The forest held its breath. No wind, no insects, no rustle of leaves. Just the soft, steady sound of something breathing not too far away. I stepped off the trail and forced my way through the undergrowth in a straight line, counting every step. Branches tore at my jacket, roots twisted under my boots. At step 103, I pushed through a wall of brush and found myself standing in front of the dead oak again. It hadn't moved, but the air around it was heavier, like the forest itself had leaned in to listen. The marks on the bark were fresh now. Sap still glistened in the cuts, and the symbols had grown more complex, spiraling around the trunk in patterns that made my eyes ache when I looked too long. At the base of the tree, half buried in dead leaves, lay a small folded piece of paper with my name written, on the outside in handwriting that looked disturbingly like my own. I didn't open it. I didn't need to. Because when I looked up, the forest was silent in a way that felt intentional. No wind, no birds, no insects. Just the soft, steady sound of something breathing. The symbols on the tree weren't warnings. They were invitations. With each loop, each return, each fresh cut in the bark, it wasn't just the forest that was changing. It was me. My thoughts felt slower, my memories thinner, like parts of me were being carved away and rewritten into the grain of that tree. I looked down at my hands and saw faint lines on my palms, pale grooves forming a pattern I almost recognized. The trail ahead split again. 2 paths curving away into shadow. I chose one, then the other, then neither. It didn't matter. Every direction led back to that tree. Every step took me deeper into a loop that wasn't just in the forest, but in me. The last time I saw the dead oak, there was a new mark on the trunk. It was small, precise, and unmistakable. My name, carved into the wood in letters that looked like my handwriting, but older. Like something had been practicing. And for the first time, the forest didn't feel like a place I was lost in. It felt like a place I was becoming. Some paths don't lead anywhere. They just lead back. If you felt that chill, subscribe and hit the bell, because the next trail might not let you leave.